a lot, okay, which I think is a good question. And quite honestly, guys, I think it's an honest question because the question has been posed by LSU fans if the situation arose next year, if Brian Kelly did not make a 12-team playoff, would he be on the hot seat? Well, there are a couple things I think about that. Number one, I don't believe so because, quite frankly, you owe him a crap load of money. Now, it will start to beg a lot of questions about what he's doing. He was the one that came out and said year 3, right? He said by year 3, we want to be into a place where we're a normal, natural contender. He can't walk that back. It's something that we know that he said. It's something that he's been pushing for 2 years. Now, what can happen is that he might not be completely to the place where he wants to be or the final place that he will start to be years 4, 5, 6, and so on. But I do think that there's a lot of pressure right now for Brian Kelly to get there, be one of the top 12. Now, the truth is to be one of the top 11 because you can't be number 12 because they're probably going to let a group of 5 opponent, the highest ranked group of 5 opponent, into the playoff, even though I know that right now they're going to. No telling what's going to change with the playoff because of all the things in chaos that's surrounding college football. But I will tell you, I don't think it's a wrong take for LSU fans to have when they say or ask, should he be there? I think the answer is yes. I think the answer should be Brian Kelly has pressure to get to the playoff this year. Now, I know that there's a lot of questions along the defensive side of the football. Tons of questions along the defensive side. Defensive tackle. What do you start looking like at DB now that Corey Raymond is back? Can Jake Olson, who has his first real shot here at coaching safeties, can he get them better? Can he develop them? That's a question mark that we have on a lot of this. It doesn't change the fact that with the schedule that you have, okay, which is tough, that you got to be there at the end of the year. I don't think that that's a hot take to have, but I do understand the question, and I think it's fair. Now, spring camp starts in literally less than a month. The 5th is the first date that we'll be out there. 5th and the 7th are the first 2 days. And we get our first look at what next year's team is going to look like. Now, we had a preview, small preview, of what it would look like when you play the bowl game against Wisconsin. But that's not, you have a whole new defensive staff. Brian Thomas played in that whole game. You got a brand new center. You got small previews. You got flashes. You don't have anything of what you're going to see in 2024 completely. But I do feel the pressure mounting. And I think it's going to be the topic of the entire offseason for LSU from a football perspective. Can they get in that 12? And what happens if they don't? Now, I'm going to continue to stay on this hot take. I do believe as a team that they're going to be better all around. Now, it's tough because you had the best offense in the country last year with Jaden Daniels. I just think even though you have personnel, I think this. When we were out on Thursday, okay, and we tweeted it for him, our buddy Josh Pate said, hey, I'm going to talk some LSU tonight. I thought he had a really good take and a really good thought. LSU has better personnel than teams that were in the top 25 defensively last year. And he's not wrong. You know who one of them was? Missouri. Now, you could say you can make the argument that Missouri had better personnel. I don't know if I fully believe or agree with that, Okay. But nevertheless, they were. Blake Baker was their DC. We took him. I just think you're going to be so much better. I think you're going to run the ball a little bit more too and play a little bit of keep away. I think it's what they should have done a little bit this year. I think they scored way too fast, way too quickly, but then it doesn't really matter because at the end of it all, you're going to give up the points anyway. You're going to give up the yards anyway. I just thought maybe with a little bit more rest, these guys could potentially, just make a play or two, but never really happened because Matt House, Fugazi. So look, in a month from today, we'll be back out there. We'll be back out at practice. Really interested to see how all of this works and plays out. But I will tell you, the pressure has to be mounting because I think they do got to get there. I think that's got to be the expectation for LSU moving forward has to be playoff or bust. That is the standard. There is no other standard anymore for LSU football. That is it. And once you get in the playoffs, anything can happen. Anytime you get into a playoffs, anything can happen. Guys, we are going from a college football place somewhere that is uncharted. So, expectation, get there or bust. Now, I don't like putting the expectations on teams, but if you're going to have one,